Hey everyone, welcome back to another weekly episode of the Commissioner's Couch podcast. My name is David, and this is the one and only Dynasty CLE Monster himself. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Doing good. Excited to do some week 2 fantasy football tips and some reactions to week 1, and just really excited to continue this podcast. Grateful to be here. Graciously sponsored by Inside Edge Network and LVP Productions, and Monster Moments Photography as well. So we'll get more into that later. So just really excited to get started. Let's do it.
Yeah, me too. And it was a wild week 1. There was a lot to talk about and a lot to take in. So first, let's just jump in and talk about some of our people that we liked it last week and people we didn't like. We're going to call this section the Hunks and Skunks of the week. So who were some of your hunks, Monster?
Let me go through the week 1 injuries real quick, actually.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
All right, yeah. So week 1, obviously, unfortunately, there are always injuries every week. They're unpreventable, but nonetheless, they're part of fantasy football, so I should report on them. First one I have is Brock Purdy. He injured his left shoulder and his toe. He is considered, I think, day-to-day. I'm not sure about his he's actually the quarterback for the 49ers, by the way. But yeah, I'm not sure about his status, but that's something to watch. If he doesn't play, Mac Jones is the backup. Shanahan has always said that he liked Mac Jones in the draft but never took him. So that could be a watch. Also, Drake London. He has a shoulder injury. He's a wide receiver for the Falcons. I'm losing my mind here. He's listed day-to-day as well. Something to check out. It doesn't seem too bad. I heard he might play, but something to watch. Evan Ingram, he has a calf update. His injury. He is the tight end for the Broncos, and we actually do not know how bad it is.
There were a lot of tight ends injuries in week 1.
Dude, yeah, at least 3 or 4 that I can think of. Xavier Worley, probably one of the worst ones of the week. He had a shoulder dislocation with the collision with Travis Kelce. He'll be out a few weeks. Brock Bowers, he tweaked his knee. He said that he was fine and he was just taken out for a precaution. He's a tight end for the Raiders, but there's still something to monitor. If he doesn't go in, then it would be Michael Mayer, the backup there. George Kittle, probably my biggest hit of fantasy week 1 because I had a lot of shares of George Kittle. He hurt his hamstring. He was put on IR. Honestly, the entire 49ers team is a mess right now, which is unfortunate. Juan Jennings.
McCaffrey's not there yet.
Yeah. Never want to wish that on somebody, but yeah, he has a history of it. Juan Jennings, another 49er. He has a shoulder injury after nursing his calf injury basically the entire summer. He's had MRI. It came back clean, and he should play week 2, but that's something to be monitored as well. And then Will Shipley, he is the backup running back for the Eagles. He had a rib injury. Not sure how significant it was, but they did recently just trade for another running back, so that's obviously probably not a good sign. And those were all the injuries for week 1.
Yeah, nobody likes it, but it's part of the game. So, that being said, who were some of your favorite players from week 1 and some of your least favorite players from week 1?
All right, yeah. I'll give one riser, you give one riser. Cool?
All right, deal.
What was this? It was Skunks and Junks?
Hunks.
Skunks
and Hunks.
All right. I'll give a hunk, I guess. First one I'm going with is the Bills receiver, wide receiver, Keon Coleman.
It's a good one.
He had an 88% snap count, 8 catches on 11 targets, 112 yards and a touchdown. He also, something to monitor, he ran the most routes in week 1 of all receivers with 49 total routes, which is really, really good. Obviously, the more times you're out there running routes, the more opportunities you have to get the ball. He looked like a true number 1 receiver. Finally, last year he had some hiccups. A lot of people questioned if he was going to be the number 1. I don't know if I really question it right now. He played really well. Yeah. He plays the Jets, and I think that him and Josh Allen have found a special connection. I think that they'll look to continue that this week.
Yeah, he fits that category of year 2 wide receiver breakouts that are happening right now, really around the league. I think my biggest hunk for week 1 is the wide receiver one for week 1 of fantasy football, that being Zay Flowers.
Here it comes.
I've been targeting him all offseason. I made a trade for him in our Dynasty League, and I knew that I was going to catch some flack for it, but it paid off very, very handsomely for week 1. Even though the rest of my team sucked, it still paid off. So can't complain about that. Had 9 targets, 7 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown. So he averaged 20 yards a catch. He became kind of Lamar's go-to guy. I'm excited to see what happens in week 2. I don't know if I'm as high on him for week 2, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, definitely one of the best performing wide receivers for week 1. So
nice. All right, I'm going to do my next hunk. I have 2 hunks and 2 chunks, or hunks and
skunks. They stink. They're skunks.
Yeah, they do stink. You're right. I'm going to give my hunk, though. All right, this guy is a running back for the Jaguars, Travis Etienne.
He was one of mine, too.
Man, well, I stole him.
Okay, I got another one.
There you go. Travis had a 61% snap count, 16 attempts for 143 yards, 3 catches for 13 yards against the Panthers. I mean, everyone questioned after last year with his bad year whether he was going to be the guy that he was in 2023 when he was a top 5 running back. He really was a faller last year. He was a skunk last year. But I'm telling you, this guy's going to be a hunk now. Liam Cohen as their new head coach. He was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, last year, Bucky Irving as a rookie running back tore it up last year. Baker, he had that team humming, and now he's over with the Jaguars. And I think that, there's a little hiccups. We'll see, with that passing offense and Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. But nonetheless, the running game looked good. And now there's one less running back. Like I said, Tank Bigsby was traded to the Eagles. And I think that, it just opens up more opportunities for ETN to get the ball. And I think he'll produce. I think maybe this is a Josh Jacobs case where he was, a lead running back in 1 year, fell on his face the next year. And then, obviously Jacobs went to a different team and succeeded. But I think ETN will have the same success as Josh Jacobs did. And he'll do all this.
Agreed, big time. Yeah, he was the running back 1 for 22-23 season. He was an absolute stud, and Trevor Lawrence is main person to go to. Yeah. So my last hunk for this week is none other than the Cleveland Browns' own Harold Fannin Jr., tight end. We really had no clue what the Browns' offense was going to look like this year. There was a lot of pieces that were returning, a lot of unknown in the passing game, and really complete mystery in the running game. There was some encouraging things, and one of the biggest bright spots was Harold Fannin. He had an amazing separation ability when it came to running his routes. He ran one jerk route that was over the middle for 20 yards down the field. He does a great job of getting through contact. He just seemed like everything as advertised. So I'm excited to see how he progresses. But he was definitely one of the hunks, I think, for week 1 as well.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't know him, get to know him. I think he'll be a good fantasy person for you.
I highly agree, and I should. I'm definitely going to agree later too in another segment. Yeah.
All right. So skunks, are you ready?
These guys that stink, bro. You want to go first?
Stink.
You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is the one that I started in our Dynasty League, and I immediately regret picking him up off the offseason. I was hopeful because I thought there was going to be some potential with this team, and the Miami Dolphins just fell flat on their face because of Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He was trash, absolute hot garbage. Couldn't keep the ball secure, fumbled it, threw 2 picks, barely got any positive yards for any fantasy league. He was absolute just stinky. So he is my first skunk of the week. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. My first skunk is a running back. I don't know if he's running back 2 or 3 for the Eagles, but his name is Tank Bigsby. This guy is now in the fantasy community. This guy is dead. Irrelevant. He was traded away from the Jaguars to the Eagles for a 5th and 6th round pick. And now as a backup behind Saquon and Shipley. Shipley does have that rib injury, which I stated earlier. But nonetheless, this guy, he doesn't catch balls out of the backfield, which is a big, big red flag for running backs in fantasy football nowadays. And I'm not a big fan of his, honestly. And I just think that he's just going to get buried. Saquon's the best running back in the league, subjectively top 3. And opportunities aren't going to be there. We questioned maybe if he could possibly take the role in Jacksonville. Obviously, that wasn't the case. ETN proved that it was his job. And as a result of that, now Bigsby is gone, and I think you could drop him. I don't think it's worth. He might be worth a waiver wire pick later in the year, but as long as Saquon is healthy, that guy is irrelevant in fantasy football.
Yeah, his only relevancy for fantasy football is going to be on kick return if he's still in that role, which I know he was for Jacksonville. And so if he does manage to break some kickoffs for a touchdown, maybe that's how he can be fantasy relevant.
Yeah, but that's not something.
Even then, that's a stretch.
I want to keep a guy just for returning. Unless his name is Josh Cribbs and I'm a Browns fan,
True. So. He's the legend. So, my second skunk is somebody else that I was really high on last year. Panned out for me. Held on to him this year, and I think it was maybe a mistake, but we'll see. I don't know. There's still hope. But Scary Terry McLaurin was a big skunk this week. I think he only caught 3 passes for 13 yards, 15 yards, something like that. I think this is a big reason why players that hold out during the offseason are just such a gamble for fantasy. He could have came in and hit the ground running, but because there's so much competition now with Bill and Deebo Samuel and other weapons around that offense, that it's just hey, he didn't get that chemistry in training camp. He missed out on all those important, growth opportunities and chemistry opportunities with the quarterback. So I think that was kind of the reason why he was a slow start to the season and a big skunk in week 1. I'm hopeful that he can turn it around. I need him to turn it around for my own dynasty league, but he was a big skunk this week.
So what are you doing with him this week? Are you panicking?
Yeah.
Are you nervous that he's going to? You think he's going to take 5 weeks to get into it? Are you looking to trade him because that you're trying to win?
Yeah.
What's the plan?
Yeah. So in my current dynasty team that I have him on, I don't think I'm panicking just yet. I'm hopeful that he will get it together. And
what about redraft? Well, no, not redraft.
Redraft. I'm still not panicking. It's week 1. I think you got to give him at least 3 weeks to see how they're looking. I think that he will be able to turn it around here. He's still one of the top options for that offense, and I think that given some time, it'll be clear again to see. The issue is you just can't compare it to last year because there were so many touchdowns for Terry McLaurin. Right. He may not live up to that again, and that's probably not going to. So I'm not panicking. I'm hopeful that he can still be a good flex option for fantasy players going forward, but we'll see, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think in my current dynasty league that I have him in on, though, I'm hopeful that I can get some more production out of him, try and compete for a playoff spot. But if not, I can move him for some picks or something. But we'll see.
Nice. All right, my last skunk for the day. I have wide receiver for the Seahawks, Cooper Kupp. He played 88% of the snap count, had 2 catches on 3 targets for only 15 yards. And he was 100% completely overshadowed by former Buckeye legend receiver JSN. He had a 77% snap count, 9 catches on 13 targets, 124 yards. I mean, yeah, Cooper Kupp's in there. He might be a number 2, which is a decent option. But Sam Darnold is a one-read quarterback. It worked out last year with Jefferson, and I think it's going to work out great this year with JSN, and he's going to benefit from that. So I would be fading Cooper Kupp definitely this week and probably in the future as well.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. But yeah, there you have it. There's our hunks and our skunks for this week. Tune back next week, and we can get some more hunks and skunks.
I'm not sold that name either.
So just to recap week 1, let's just do some quick stock up, stock down on some players. Who are some players that you're looking at and saying, hey, I'm buying this player stock, or hey, I'm trying to sell this player? I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I think the first one that I am buying and buying hard, hook, line, and sinker, is none other than Bill Kralski. He is just exploding up people's draft boards, up people's rosters. He's getting pushed into my starting lineup. I'm assuming eventually at some point this season he's going to take over the running back 1 position for the Commanders. I think Eckler is a good player. I think he's just an aging running back, and there's a lot of hype and belief around Bill. And so I am buying the stock of Bill Kralski. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good pick. I have a couple guys, but they're also my top waiver wire guys as well. So I know we're going over that later, but I'll do one guy who's not. All right. So I have tight end for the Colts, Tyler Warren.
Ooh.
I am buying this dude. I'm buying everything he's selling. If this guy has Wheaties, I'm eating them. Like, I am a Tyler Warren stan. I believe. I mean, this guy was the entire offense for Penn State last year with Drew Aller. I mean, he did everything but snap the ball to himself. So
would have been impressive though if he did that.
Yeah, he probably could though. He's that amazing. I think this guy's truly a unicorn. I think that he's going to be a top 3 to 5 tight end this year, and I think as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be perennial. I think. Daniel Jones looked fantastic last week, and he peppered his receivers, every receiver other than the one that I vouched for last week. Nonetheless, I think that Tyler Warren's going to be the benefit from it, and he's going to just be so amazing. I'm so excited. I think he's going to get so many targets. He's an athlete. He runs the ball. He'll catch the ball. He'll throw the ball. He'll do whatever. And I am just all about Tyler Warren.
Yeah. It's a great pick. I mean, there's so much potential with him too. Both him and Fannin recorded the most catches out of rookie tight ends for week 1. So there's a lot of potential, and the sky's the limit for him. So I like that pick. A couple other players that I'm high on. Rome Odunze. I think going back with that second wide receiver breakout year, he had the most targets out of anybody in the Bears offense. Caught a late game touchdown, which I think may become a theme for the Bears this year and could be good for fantasy. And I think that he is really blossoming into a wide receiver 1 for this year. And then another wide receiver that I liked a lot that should be somebody you're keeping an eye on, and I'm sorry if I ruin our waiver wire section later on, but Hollywood Brown received he received the most targets out of the Chiefs after Xavier Worthy went out. And I think that he's going to be somebody that will benefit a lot from that depleted wide receiver core.
Yeah, you just ruined the waiver wire. Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert.
It's all good.
All right, so
I'll do one more player. I think Javonte Williams needs some respect on his name. I mean, he got 15 rushes. Yeah, it was a backfield that was, shared a little bit, but he got 54 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys, 10 receiving yards and 2 catches. I mean, he played well. He got 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys. It looked like they were going to him, decently. And I think that, if you're the starting running back for the Cowboys, no matter what, you're going to get, some fantasy points are going to be relevant. So
Yep.
I think that he would just be a decent guy to pick up or just watch if he's on a waiver wire as well. So
or even a potential trade candidate, because I think the name of him is he will get a lot of touchdowns, especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
So some players that I am down on that I will say are not on the injured list. Calvin Ridley, I'm actually down on. I don't think that he looked like the younger version of himself that used to be there. I still believe in Cam Ward, but having a rookie quarterback go through some of the learning curve that comes with the NFL, I just think makes for a recipe for wide receivers their first year in the league, and him was supposed to be the wide receiver one in that team. Just makes me a little worried about him. So I'm a little down on him. And then I'm also down, it kind of goes back to the whole Rome Odunze point, but the DJ Moore fantasy stock. I'm selling that. I think the coaching staff is kind of at a loss for what to do with him and how to get him included. They're lining him up at running back. They're trying jet sweeps with him. Sure. It's like he's talented, and I think that he will still have some fantasy relevance, but I'm just not buying hey, he's still the wide receiver one of this team.
I don't know, because I see the team, trying different ways to get him the ball, different opportunities. Yeah. I mean, he has been a wide receiver one in fantasy football in the NFL. He played so good 2-3 years ago with Chicago. He's great down in Carolina. I think that I don't know. Hope maybe they're trying to get him in this Deebo Samuel role. Maybe they're just. Yeah. I'm not a big believer in Caleb Williams. I thought they did just about every single thing that they could have to make him successful, and we'll see. I'm not sure still. So I'm not 100% on any of that offense. But the fact that they are at least trying to be creative and give him different opportunities to touch the ball, I find that as positive more than negative. So
yeah, I will say if there's anybody who can get creative with the DJ Moore weapon, it would be Ben Johnson. So there is some hope, but I'm just out for right now. So.
Yeah. One more I would avoid. I would say Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I don't know. The backfield for them is not very good. He had 5 attempts for 25 yards. It's just, there's who's getting the ball. Is it him, Kareem Hunt? Is it Brashard Smith? Elijah Mitchell? It's all, yeah. So and it's unfortunate because, before his injury last year, he was a player who was dynamic. Last year he had a couple weeks where he was, a top 5 running back and he looked really, really good. And then all of a sudden, it sucks because, now he's going to be a running back by committee, and I'm a sell candidate. I cannot start him. I don't think startable. 5 attempts is obviously nothing to boast about, especially for a starting running back anymore. So it's unfortunate because of the injury, but nonetheless, he's somebody that I'm definitely fading.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's look forward here to week 2 coming up. Today's Wednesday. We got Thursday night football tomorrow. We got a bunch of matchups on Sunday. I think we have 2 Monday night games next week. So there's a lot to look forward to. So let's start by looking at this before we jump into our legacy lineup. What are some of the best games that you think will produce the most fantasy points for week 2?
Yeah, I'm actually excited for Thursday night football tomorrow. Commanders versus Packers. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be a really good game. Hopefully they unleash Micah Parsons a little more, and we can see his expertise on the defensive line for the Packers. But 2 really good teams, 2 decent quarterbacks. I think obviously Jaden Daniels I think is a top 5 quarterback, but it's going to be a lot of passes. We'll see Tucker Kraft's a really good tight end. I think he'll have a really good game as well. But it's just 2 higher powered offense with 2 pretty decent defenses. I'm excited for this matchup for sure. Yeah,
that'll be a good one. I'm excited to see Bill Krosky come out for that one.
I know you are. You are.
Prime time Bill, baby.
More from David, I swear.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I think the matchup that I am most excited for fantasy purposes will be the Chiefs and the Eagles. Wow, okay. Butchered that. The Chiefs and the Eagles. I think both of those offenses are still very high-powered, still very just full of a lot of weapons. Never just discount any receiver that has Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball. Sure. I think the thing that makes them so intriguing for fantasy is I feel like both of their defenses have declined since last year. And so I think that they're going to see some big fireworks for scoring a lot of touchdowns, whether that be Dallas Goedert or Saquon or Hollywood Brown or Travis Kelce. I think that there will be a lot of touchdowns being scored in that game.
Nice. That's a good pick. My next one I had 2 was the Bills versus the Jets. Yeah. Jets look good. Justin Fields looked great. If he continues the way he played, he's going to be a top 3 fantasy quarterback. His running ability alone is worth it in gold. Stay healthy. Garrett Wilson looked like another factory-built Ohio State wide receiver that went to the NFL who just got paid a shit ton of money. So, somebody that you said you were not buying this year. We got crazy. So you might have been super right on Zay Flowers, but you were super wrong on Garrett Wilson. Nonetheless, because
Yeah, that's true.
I was very wrong on Josh Allen.
Hey, I said I would be happy to be wrong. I like Justin
I
Fields.
am happy you were wrong. So, there's not really many options for the Jets other than him. Mason Taylor is a rookie tight end who from LSU, I think is going to be really good in that offense.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just, it's going to be him, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and it's just going to be a mixture of those three guys. And I think that, they did it well, and they're going to continue to do it well. And obviously the Bills offense, one of the best games I've ever seen. I'm actually incredibly pissed.
Allen, man.
The Bills versus the Ravens. I had, and on the Dynasty League David was talking about earlier, we were together, and I have Derrick Henry. And I was playing against Josh Allen, and we were, neck and neck in points. And Derrick Henry fumbles the ball, Josh Allen drives, and I lose by 2 points to a team that I should not have lost to. So very unfortunate. I was second highest scorer in the league against that guy, but he had some crazy.
In that
lucky
team's defense,
players. Yeah,
that team was a good team last year as well.
Right, but also they just sold Saquon, and they weren't expecting to be the highest scorer.
And sold me Zay Flowers. So
yeah, every blind squirrel finds a nut. Shano, your team's not that great. Congratulations on the win, but I'm gonna still win the league this year. So
we'll see.
I don't know. The Bills and Jets game, I'm really excited about though. So
yeah, that'll be a good one. Definitely excited to see that one because Josh Allen's just so entertaining to watch.
Oh, he's incredible. Sad.
So the other game that I liked that I think will produce a lot of fireworks is the Jags versus the Bengals. I think both of those offenses got off to a slow start, minus Travis Etienne. I think the Bengals offense, will look just so much better, dynamically different than what they did in week one because they're not playing the Browns defense and Joe Burrow's not playing the Browns. And so I think them playing at home, I think there'll be a lot of offensive power coming from the Bengals. And then I think Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. are just going to slice that defense apart. So that's another one that could have a lot of good fantasy players in it. So
one good thing to know, Zach Taylor, the head coach of the Bengals, he's actually, now that he beat the Browns, he's only 3-10 in his career against opponents in week 1 and 2. So that which is an interesting stat. Yeah, so he was 2-10 until this past week when he beat the Browns. So that's something to watch. Not very clutch in the first 2 weeks, but then that team usually turns it around. But yeah, their defense is awful. So
yeah. All righty. So let's jump in then to one of my favorite segments that we do, our legacy lineup for week 2. This is our segment where we talk through what our best possible fantasy lineup could be. But before we get into week 2, let's recap what happened in week 1.
Yeah,
so I had in my lineup, Kyler Murray, Tony Pollard.
Quarterback, running back, 2 receivers,
2 wide receivers,
and a flex. Sorry, go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. So I had Kyler Murray, Tony Pollard, Marvin Harrison Jr., so I went with the Cardinal stack, Jerry Jeudy, Brock Bowers, and Zay Flowers. Rhymed.
You did well.
So, yeah, I didn't do too bad, actually. Kyler was a top 15 quarterback in fantasy leagues. Marv was a top 10 quarterback, so that stack worked out. Maybe not the best of the week, but it was still a good, successful stack. Brock Bowers was tight end 1. Zay Flowers was wide receiver 1. So all in all, really not too bad. Just picked the wrong running back. So
I did terribly. So bad. Oh my gosh. So I had Jaden Daniels as my quarterback, 19 for 30, 233 yards. Passing touchdown, 68 yards on the ground, and that's it. Bucky Irving, who 14 carries for 37 yards, 4 catches for 8 yards and a touchdown. Not very good. Brian Thomas Jr.
Had a touchdown at least.
A touchdown, that's fine. Yeah, but
save it for fantasy.
I guess Brian Thomas Jr. He's a top 5 receiver last year as a rookie. Had 1 catch on 7 targets for 11 yards. They had a huge rain delay that game, but I'm not making excuses. That was awful. Mike Evans, 5 catches, 51 yards. Okay, but not great. Trey McBride, 6 catches for 61 yards, just about the same. And then my flex was Josh Downs, 2 catches for 12 yards. Not a good week for me. So
that's what I feel like. That lineup sums up. I feel like week 1 fantasy football in general, though. You have just weird scoring, just weird plays, Travis Hunter, for example, he had a good game. He caught 7 passes out of 8 targets. And then he had one that was 2 inches away from being an 80-yard touchdown. Yeah. Could have just dominated in week 1, but then underthrown a little bit. Just fluky, weird things like that.
With the Browns, Jerry Jeudy, the ball popping up off his chest, and then the same thing happened to Cedric Tillman. Derrick Henry fumbling the ball within 3-4 minutes left in the game.
Yeah,
crazy.
Just weird, fluky
fun, So
that's what makes and very entertaining, but just
so unpredictable. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about week 2 legacy lineups then, because I'm feeling pretty confident in my legacy lineup that I picked, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. This week for quarterback, I decided not to go a top 5 quarterback. I wanted to just pick somebody who I thought was going to do good just because. And I picked quarterback Drake May. for
Okay.
the Patriots versus the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, probably a good safe pick.
I just decided
literally
basically
look
I'm just going to stream against the Dolphins defense all year. So whatever quarterback is going to play the Dolphins, that's who I'm going to pick probably. Dolphins, the entire team looked terrible, as you said. Their defense looked horrible. I think that Drake is going to be the next line of quarterbacks that are just going to massacre the Dolphins for weeks on end. This pick was almost Daniel Jones. Oh my god, I wanted to pick him so bad.
Man. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't go with that stack of him and Tyler Warren. In all honesty.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I went Drake May. I think that the offense is going to look good. I think Travion Henderson is going to get the ball more out of the backfield. He's fantastic catching the ball, and he was the best blocking running back in the draft last year. So that he's going to see the field more just in that alone. So he'll have more opportunities. Keyshawn Boutte looked good. Hunter Henry looked pretty good. They have I think they'll look good. And like I said, against the Dolphins, anyone's going to look good. So
yeah.
I'll keep going, or you want to give your quarterback?
Yeah, do your whole lineup.
Okay, yeah. Number 2, I have running back Travis Etienne against the Bengals. Travis last week had a 61% snap count, 16 attempts for 143 yards against the Panthers defense, and now he plays the Bengals, who is just they have Trey Hendrickson and Logan Wilson as linebacker, and pretty much that's it. Everyone is so bad, dude.
And if can I make a quick note on him because I like this matchup a lot. The best thing that the Browns did last week was dump it to Harold Fannin and Dylan Sampson. I think if the Jags can do that with Etienne, he's not only going to be able to run against them, but I think he's going to be like a check down Charlie for Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's just going to feast for fantasy. So
and like I said, with Bigsby out of the way too, it just opens up the door more for him. His backups, LaQuint Allen, who is a rookie, he actually got more percentage, more than Bashal Tutin, so that's something to watch. But if Etienne just continues to catch the ball in the backfield, that shouldn't be a problem because Etienne's a better athlete. So my first wide receiver, I have wide receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brian Thomas Jr.
ETJ.
The same guy I picked last week who had one catch for 7 yards. Let's go.
It's bound to work eventually.
Dude, but he's playing, like I said, he's playing the Cincy defense. Their corners are trash. Their safeties are trash. Their team is trash. I can't believe the Browns lost to them. Well, the Browns are trash. I'm a Browns fan. Nonetheless, I think that he's gonna have he's gonna bounce back. I mean, he has to. He's gonna demand that he's going to. One catch off of 7 targets is not unlike him. I didn't watch the targets. I don't know how bad they were. Catch the ball nonetheless. But I think he's going to. They're gonna look to get him the ball early. I think Travis Hunter is also going to demand the ball. So it's just gonna hopefully just be that 1-2 punch that I've been hoping was going to be all year. Which kind of sucks because I'm also a Browns fan. We have their first round pick next year, so I kind of want them to lose, but.
Yeah,
I'm loving the pieces on their team for sure. Not necessarily trusting the quarterback 100%, but I do trust Brian Thomas this week. My next wide receiver is Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Cardinals. I know you picked him last week, but I love him this week. He's playing Carolina last week versus the Saints. He was in the game for 89% of the snaps, which is just, he might have been out for 2 or 3 plays at that point, which is crazy. 5 catches, 6 targets, and he got that touchdown. Dude's big, fast. I think he gained like 20 pounds of muscle this past year because, he took it personal that everyone said that he was relatively a bust because he was such a high pick, but he didn't score as many, points on the field. But the fact of the matter is Kyler Murray wasn't looking for him last year. I think that he's going to look for him this year. The fact that he's out there for that long, he's going to demand the ball, like I said. And the fact that Trey McBride is out there, who's a dominant tight end in the NFL, that they're going to have to respect that. The defense is going to have to count for that. So I look for Marv to do good. He was top 10 receiver, like you said, in fantasy this past year, and I expect him to do really well against the Panthers. My tight end, Tyler Warren. Colts versus Denver. I love Tyler Warren. Like I said, I would eat his cereal if he had cereal. This guy is just the man against men. He's eventually going to be the tight end 1 in the NFL, and just get ready. He's going to beat out Brock Bowers just because he's a better tight end. So
calm down.
I know I'm being crazy. Brock Bowers is generational. I'm being stupid right now. We'll see if he stays healthy. Nonetheless, the Broncos have a good defense. I do not give a crap. Daniel Jones was on fire week 1. Daniel Jones is going to pepper that dude with I think 14 targets this week just because I'm incredibly biased and I want him to do really well.
I like it. Let's see it.
73% snap count, 7 catches, 9 targets, 76 yards, and had a rush for 3 yards. And all I wrote here is Tyler Warren is him in all caps. So he's him. So, and then my flex for my final position for this week, I have running back for the Colts, Jonathan Taylor versus Denver.
Ooh, okay.
Week 1 versus Miami, 71% snap count, 18 attempts, 71 yards, 3 catches for 27 yards. I think that the offense was really good week 1. I think that I'm going on a limb that they aren't as good as week 2, but the top 2 players on the team will succeed regardless, and the top 2 players on the team are going to be Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones is going to get the ball to Pittman. They'll have to respect Josh Downs. Even A.D. Mitchell may be out there. He's fast, but he has hands like bricks. But he's going to look really good, and DJ Ginnens in the backfield too. I don't know. I'm going to Jonathan Taylor this week against Denver. I don't care. Yeah.
Fair enough. I like it. It'll be interesting though because that Denver defense is good, so I'm curious to see how the Colts actually do. It'll be a good litmus test to see if the Colts is like actually a serious competitive team this year, or if like, oh hey, week 1 was just kind of a fluke. Danny Dimes just kind of did what Danny Dimes does in week 1. But yeah, I'm excited to see what will happen. So.
All right, let me hear this.
All right, here we go. So, as I mentioned earlier, my favorite matchup for fantasy football this week is the Chiefs versus the Eagles. So, my quarterback that I have is Jalen Hurts. I think he dominated with his legs last week. I think that this upcoming week is going to be a little bit different because he's going to show off his arm a lot more. So, I think he's going to pass for a lot more touchdowns, but he's still going to be able to run for some too. So, that offense centers around Jalen Hurts. So, I'm excited to see how that looks. And then I also took Saquon Barkley as my running back for the week as well. I think that offense is just going to be explosive because they're just going to score whenever they want.
Well, no, duh.
I'm excited about it. So, yeah.
I'm going to pick Saquon Barkley.
And my wide receiver 1.
Drake May.
My wide receiver that I took for this legacy lineup is none other than A.J. Brown as well. I'm very high on the Eagles this week.
Last week, how did A.J. Brown do?
Just so he did terrible. Yeah, but I think he's going to have a bounce back week. I think he's going to have maybe not as many catches, but he's just going to have a 2 big splash plays where he just runs for like 60 yards and a touchdown, 40 yards and a touchdown. Like that might be it, but that'll be enough for fantasy. So I'm excited to see if that actually happens. Okay. Not would. My other wide receiver that I have is Hollywood Brown. I think he's just going to be peppered with so many targets that he's just going to be a PPR machine. Him and Travis Kelce kind of appear to be the only options now for that wide receiving core. I guess you can say Tyquan Thornton if you want somebody to just take a deep shot for Mahomes. But I think Hollywood Brown's just going to be the main target person for him this week. So yeah, my top 4 people are all from that game. And then the tight end that I have this week is Trey McBride. While I agree with you that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do well, I think Trey McBride is going to score multiple touchdowns this week.
Okay.
I think that he will probably end up being the tight end 1 for the week on the fantasy roster. Okay. And then my last flex that I have is James Cook. Obviously, I took some of the most explosive offenses in the league. That's why we're talking about the legacy lineup. But yeah, James Cook, I think he's going to be able to run all over, maybe not all over the Jets defense, but I think he'll be able to run efficiently over the Jets defense. And then I also think that he will be like the PPR check down person for Josh Allen. I think that the Jets team is probably just going to play a lot of shell to not get burnt deep by those Bills wide receivers. And so I think James Cook will be a factor in the passing game as well. So I think that's why he'll be a good flex option. So,
good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll check back next week and see who was right or more right. Hopefully it's me this time. Maybe next time I won't go, middle of the pack quarterback. I'll pick someone at the top.
You should always pick somebody. This is the legacy lineup.
Listen, I get you, but I have faith. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, you picked who? Kyler Murray for your quarterback or Jaden Daniels? Drake May. Honestly, I like Drake May, so
we'll see.
It's a good thing. If you're watching on Twitter or X, just leave a comment and let us know which legacy lineup you like more. Mine or
like Davis because he picked the number 1 player from his position, like a butthead. So
hey, that's the name of the game, the legacy.
I guess I'll just keep doing that.
All right, next week I'll pick more sleepers. Okay.
Okay, not sleepers, but just someone not the same guys every time. Josh Allen. Oh, here's your time.
All right, I'll pick more middle of the pack.
All right. Let's go over waivers. Top waiver ads real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
We talked about these guys a lot already, but Hollywood Brown, I would consider a top waiver wire guy. 93% snap count on 16 targets last week with Pat Mahomes. I mean, that's insane. And I mean, now that Xavier Worley is hurt, I mean, Rashi Rice is suspended. They have no other receivers really. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster. So Holly Brown's just going to get, like David said, peppered with targets. I had Harold Fenton Jr. as my waiver wire, and David spoiled that as well. I had 9 targets. Something to note, I saw on Sleeper specifically that he averaged $14 per waiver claim, which I thought was interesting. So if you're looking to pick up, I know waivers usually ended, but sometimes he's still on there, or they go Thursday night. So if your waivers haven't ended yet, I would look to maybe do $15 to $16 just to try to ensure that you'll get him, because like I said, the average claim was $14 of fab. So
that is actually good context because I feel like that's a pretty hefty pickup for the waiver wire.
Right. Especially, nobody knows. I mean, yeah, he did great last year. 9 targets, is awesome. But there's still also David Njoku in that offense, and he is built like a brick house. He's, had a breakout year last year, and maybe just because he had a down week this week doesn't mean that necessarily Fan is the number 1 guy. But I believe in Harold Fan, and I have a lot of shares of him. Actually, I spent a ton of fab on him in one league because I had what's the name got hurt? George Kittle as my tight end, and so he's on IR. So I needed somebody, and it was between him and I think Will Disley. So I was like the top 2. So I was like, yeah, I spent 70 fab on this dude.
Whoa.
I got it. So yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
You got your guy. That's all that matters.
My team's really good, and I just needed somebody. And for me, like, I'm confident. Yeah, obviously, a lot of people say waiver wire claims are how you win fantasy football leagues, but I mean, sometimes they're early. I think in the first 2 weeks, I think that statistically, the first 2 weeks of the fantasy football season, waiver wires that are picked up are actually more successful than later on. Obviously, it's a good sign if he's getting 9 targets his first game. Hopefully he'll continue that. Compared to like you get lucky with like Jordan Mason last year, who got hurt or CMC got hurt week 3 or 4, and then Mason took over. Then you can spend all your fab. I'm not looking for an injury. I'm just looking for a guy who's going to contribute right away. And since Kittle's going to be out for 5 weeks, I don't need somebody crazy, but I think Harold Fennell will be a nice guy to fill in. So.
Yeah, I like it. And I do think there's enough room in this Browns offense for both Njoku and Fannin to have fantasy relevance. Right. I think they will both be good red zone targets for Joe Flacco or whoever else is playing later on in the year. So I'm excited for that. So
speaking of the Browns, also, I think that the running back room is something to monitor as well. Obviously, I think Jerome Ford. I cannot talk today. Obviously, I think he should be cut. He's not from the team, but he's not relevant for fantasy right now. I think Sampson truly showed himself as a capable running back, especially catching the balls in the backfield. That dude was dynamic. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, didn't get as many yards rushing as he wanted to, but now it looks like the Quinshon Judkins situation is going to come to an end here soon. He's meeting with the NFL today. It was reported that he might be practicing today for the Browns. That was not true. He was in New York City meeting with the NFL. There may be a suspension involved, but that's something to monitor. If there's not a suspension, he's going to be a top waiver claim immediately because as great as Sampson is catching the balls out of the backfield, he's not the guy who is specifically going to be the bell cow in the offense. Judkins was drafted in the second round for that, and that's something to monitor. I would spend all my fab on Judkins if he was there was no suspension, he was able to play, even if there is a week or two where he's not 100% ready just because of the lack of being on the team and practicing. That doesn't matter. That dude's dynamic. He's a national champion, and I think that a lot of running backs can just be plugged in and hopefully be good. Like I said, Jordan Mason last year was a nobody, and now he looked fantastic this week with Minnesota.
Oh yeah, he ran the ball really efficiently for Minnesota last week. That was good.
So watch the Browns backfield just for the waiver wire pickers as well.
Yeah. All right. Let me get to some of my favorite waiver wires. The first one that I've got is somebody who it's weird because he had a lot of hype coming into the preseason, and then I feel like people just didn't want to believe it, and he had good chemistry with his quarterback, and I feel like that kind of spilled into game 1, and he may not have put up the flashiest of numbers for fantasy, but I think for the team he had a lot of targets. Let me figure out how many targets he had real fast. I had his profile pulled up, but the person is Olamide Zaccheaus.
Okay.
Yeah, he had 7 targets for the Chicago Bears, which was actually 1 or 2 less than what Rome Odunze had. And so I think he's kind of emerging as that second option for targets for Caleb Williams. And I think that he could become somebody that has some fantasy relevancy when they play some weaker team defenses like Las Vegas or Cincinnati or the Giants eventually down the road in their schedule. So somebody to keep in monitor on the waiver wires. I don't know what his fab is going for on Sleeper because I have not found that stat yet. So I'm not sure your brain on that. But yeah, I think he's somebody who could be a good Sleeper waiver wire addition. Another one, speaking of like George Kittle going on IR, this is a good family friend of mine, Luke Farrell. He would be one of my top waiver wire additions.
Timeout. David and his brother and the whole Cleveland family I'm very close with. They have been gassing Luke Farrell up. David's younger brother was Luke Farrell's quarterback in high school up at Perry, up by Madison, up on the lake. And obviously Luke went to Ohio State, and then he got drafted by Urban in the Jaguars, and then he got paid, and now he's with the 49ers, and he's going to have an opportunity. But these guys have been gassing this dude up for years, forever. Now, finally, he gets his opportunity.
Finally!
It's hilarious because
redemption.
They are Luke Farrell truthers, and you're like, who the hell is that guy? So, go ahead.
Hey, you know what? The opportunity is knocking, and I think Luke Farrell's going to knock down the door. As you said, he's signed a huge contract with San Francisco this offseason. I think San Francisco is going to want to continue running that 12 personnel set for their offense, and I think that Luke's going to be a huge part of that. While he may not have been the top option for targets from tight end perspective last week, I do think he's going to still demand being on the field for the majority of snaps. This last week, he was on the field for 60% of the snaps. I think that's is pretty relevant now that George Kittle's out. He will probably be on the field for 90, if not 100% of the snaps. So I think that that'll be important to watch. If he is in the red zone, I think he's a good touchdown-dependent target when it comes to fantasy. He has really strong hands. We saw him, I think, his senior year of Ohio State. He literally like boxed out and had a corner like climbing on him while he caught a touchdown and just kind of like bodied the guy. And so I think there's potential there that's not really been tapped into yet for the NFL.
Yeah, he's not known for his hands and catching.
Yeah.
He does have some decent catches in the NFL, but he's known for his blocking.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's definitely opportunity, especially with an offense that has relied on passing to a tight end for years now. I mean, obviously they're going to have to figure that out. So someone's going to have to get the ball in the tight end position.
I mean, somebody's going to have to catch the ball if CMC and Ricky Pearsall are covered. So
right, yeah, because there's nobody else healthy on that team.
So. Sky Moore's not going to do it. So I like Luke Farrell more. So
yeah, there you go. I like
he's
it.
somebody that I liked. And then one last one that I really liked is actually DJ Giddens.
Yep,
I think
great pick.
He is somebody that has merged as a rookie running back for that Colts offense. And I think if Jonathan Taylor had somewhat of like a neck like bruising.
So Taylor did hurt his neck during the game, but he seems like he's okay. So.
And he seems fine, but he has been somebody that has had injuries in the past. And if he were to miss any time, I think DJ Giddens would step in flawlessly for that wide running back position. Yeah. So somebody to target just as a sneaker, like, hey, I might not have him right now in the starting lineup, but maybe a few weeks down the road, he might be somewhat relevancy, and it's a good like sneaky pick to get now. So
I agree, definitely good pick.
Thank you. I try sometimes.
All right. Do you want to move to our questions?
Yeah, that's our last segment. The brand new segment that we have this week is what we're calling Fix My Fantasy Team, or FMFT.
FMFT, baby. I want to shout out my wife real quick for the graphic on Twitter. It's awesome.
Yes.
FMFT. My wife's incredible. She made her logo, so shout out Hallie.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. You want to do a couple of them?
Yeah, for sure. If you're following us on X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and you are like, hey, I'm still new to this fantasy football game, I'm really not too sure what to do, or hey, I've been playing, but I just don't know who to start, go ahead, tag us in your tweets, reply to our tweets that we post.
Yeah, we're at the Commish Couch, the Commish Couch, and you can tag us, any start-sit questions, trade scenarios, anything, we'll give you advice. We're not 100% experts, but we've been in this a long time, and I do extensive research just because I'm a nerd. So, hopefully eventually we're going to earn your trust, but ask us some questions, guys. We have quite a bit on here actually, which is really cool. Especially for our first one. We appreciate everyone who commented. But you can tag us, or every Wednesday we're going to go live now at 9, just so we can get ahead of the Thursday Night Football and stuff. So Wednesdays, look for the post for the FMFT Fix My Fantasy Team, and you can comment there as well. Also on our Facebook, we'll have Instagram and Twitter as well, and our YouTube. So
all right, so
go ahead.
The question that we've got, I'll let you answer it. This comes from Ryan Murray. For a 10-team PPR redraft league, who would you value more, Keenan Allen or Dylan Sampson? It's hard to judge Sampson with the eventual introduction of Judkins, but 8 receptions as a running back is hard to dismiss. Also, I might be biased as a Browns fan.
Yeah, I'm sticking Keenan Allen on this one. He came back with the Chargers. I mean, he immediately looked like he was maybe the number 1 receiver with that team, which is crazy because Ladd McConkey played so well last year. Nonetheless, I'm not banking on a running back catching the ball in the backfield compared to a number 1 or number 2 top receiver. He's been a top receiver in this league for a long time. He might have taken a step back this year. We'll see. He looks great this last game. He looked great last year with the Bears. He's got chemistry with Herbert. I would just stick with Allen this year, especially like you said, it's a PPR redraft league. Dynasty implications maybe be different, but redraft I definitely would keep Allen here. I like Samson, but with the Judkins situation, it's just questionable. So.
No, yeah, I agree 1,000%, especially because it's PPR, and Justin Herbert he honestly looked really good in week 1. He looked a lot more improved and a lot more comfortable in that offense, and I think having a security blanket like Keenan Allen in that offense, I think will be better. Keenan Allen probably didn't post the best fantasy numbers in week 1, but I think that'll change because he has that natural chemistry.
He looked good.
Yeah.
This one is from Shea Meyer. What should I think of Quentin Johnston's value in Dynasty League after showing week 1 versus the last 2 years of production?
Oh, man. Quentin Johnston. That's a great question. I think I am on – so if we're on the stock scale of things, are we buying? Are we selling? I'm on the holding pattern with him. I think if you have him, great. Hold him. Maybe you can start him if you want to, but I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think he was very lucky to get touchdowns last week. It seemed very on a scramble drill. The play broke down. I'm just going to throw it over here, see what happens type of a thing. So let's see if he can repeat it. That's where I'm at. Show me you can do it again, and then, okay, you'll earn a lot more trust from me. So I think there's potential, but I'm on a holding pattern with him right now. Where
depending on where he is on waivers, he should be on a team depending on how deep your league is. But for some leagues, he might be on the waiver wire because not a lot of people bet on him. A lot of people thought he was a bust, I included myself. great athlete, really fast, not great hands, but he looked really good this past week.
Yep.
So if it's not a deep league and he's on a waiver wire, he's definitely worth the stash. But I want to be going out trading for him right now. I would hold for sure, like you said. I believe in the player. I think that he looked good, looked better than probably any time I've ever seen him. He's had flashes here and there, but the inconsistencies have been incredible. I will see. I guess. Yeah, I'm excited about him.
Yeah.
Is Quinshaw, this was from Marco Lopez, is Quinshaw Judkins worth grabbing if he's on waivers in a redraft league? I'm hesitant because he's meeting with the NFL as we speak. As I said before, I think that, even if he's suspended 6 games, I mean, the NFL is unpredictable. Zeke got suspended, I think it was 8 games, and there was no evidence whatsoever they suspended him. Rashi Rice got suspended 6 games this year. It's unpredictable, but even if he's suspended, he's going to be with the team. He's going to get reps. He's going to learn. And then when he's ready, he's going to burst on the scene. So I would take advantage of it and try to stash him right now, especially since there's already rumors that he's going to be practicing. He's supposed to practice this week, but he's meeting with the NFL today. So we'll see how that goes. So I would stash him on waiver wire.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. If there's one thing that I trust most when it comes to Kevin Stefanski, and I know you and I have different opinions on Stefanski.
He looked good. He coached a good game this week. So
he did. He knows how to scheme up running holes. And Jerome Ford, frankly, just can't find the hole. But I think somebody like Judkins will be able to find it and will be a very impactful player for both the Browns and for fantasy lineups.
That Nick Chubb type that he loves so much that he decided not to sign, and he played well, relatively okay for the Texans. So.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Browns moving on from Chubb as much as I hate it. I like an aging running back.
Especially with Judkins' situation maybe coming to an end, of course. But
yeah.
I'm still salty. I mean, the adoration that our city has for this guy is incredible. And then, it's just sad.
Right. Yeah, it is. So Andrew Haney wants to know, what is the trade value for C.J. Stroud in Dynasty Superflex?
You go ahead.
I'll go. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to get at least a first rounder for him. I know a lot of people are down on C.J. Stroud right now, especially after the dud performance that whole Texans offense kind of had in week 1. But I'm still a believer in C.J. Stroud. I think that he's still growing and developing. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable as this season continues and progresses, as he gets somewhat more of a running back game going again when Mixon comes back. And I think as soon as he can figure out how to actually get what's his wide receiver's name that I can't think of?
Higgins, Nico Collins.
Nico Collins. Once he gets Nico Collins more than like 3 targets a game, I think he'll be much better. I think at least a first rounder. You can probably somehow get like a first rounder and like a player or 2 for him. But if you're wanting to buy for him, I would say you should probably offer a first round at least for him in a Superflex. So.
I'd say at least a first rounder. I think possibly 2 first rounders. I mean, it just depends on. Every league is different. The values of your trades are different. Our Dynasty League, I'd say that quarterbacks are not valuable really at all, which is insane to me. And I've been pushing for Superflex forever, but nonetheless, a commissioner will ever do that. Superflex, just a review. Superflex, you're starting a quarterback, and then at the very bottom, you'll have your flex players, and then you'll have a Superflex, so you can start a receiver, running back, tight end, or quarterback. Quarterbacks score a lot of points, so it's just valuable to have a quarterback in that spot. So. And like I said last week, every Superflex league I've ever been in, there's not even a backup or third string quarterback that's not on a team. It's the most valuable position in fantasy football when you're in the Superflex league. So I think you can probably get 2 first-round picks out of him just because of the name. Yeah, he had a bad game, but I would not be selling because of one bad game. I think that's just not smart.
I agree.
As bad as they looked, Christian Kirk was hurt. The running game questionable. Joe Mixon, like you said. We'll see, but I'm not counting Stroud out. So
I say give it time. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Got one more from Ryan Murray. He did 2. Would you trade Travis Etienne and Chris Godwin for Emeka Egbuka and Zach Charbonnet? For context, I have Baker as my QB. My RBs are Derrick Henry, James Cook, Eckler, and his receivers are Nico, Metcalf, Diggs, and Downs. It's a 12-man PPR redraft. So he's asking the trade is Etienne and Godwin for Egbuka and Charbonnet.
So he'd be getting Egbuka and Charbonnet.
Yeah.
I would smash that accept button. Personally.
Interesting.
I think so. Egbuka, I mean, obviously he had a monster game for week 1. I think he will still be fantasy relevant when Chris Godwin comes back. I think he will still demand targets from Baker just because he's that talented. And I think that Charbonnet is going to wind up being the running back 1 in Seattle this year. He had more snap percentages in the first week of their game than Kenneth Walker did. He had more yards per carry than Kenneth Walker did, and I think the coaching staff has slowly shifted away from Kenneth Walker and into Zach Charbonnet. So I'm counting the accept button.
I do agree on accepting the trade. I don't know about smashing, like you said. I think Egbuka is a very promising player. I love him. Obviously, 2 touchdowns. He played well, but Mike Evans is still the wide receiver 1 there, and Godwin will be back eventually. And you forget that Godwin with the first 4 weeks last year was the wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. He looked incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's always gets injured. We'll see, but I mean they're looking to give him the ball. So I'm nervous about Egbuka's performance when Godwin comes back. I think that he could outplay that. I believe in him. I'm obviously a diehard Buckeye fan, but nonetheless, that's something to watch. And we've been talking about the whole show today. Travis Etienne, he's a riser. I mean, he's a hunk. He's not a skunk,
Yeah, he is.
I mean, that's also going to be a lot of value. So I think it's relatively even. I do agree with you. I think that Charbonnet is going to take over that backfield. I think that Walker's just one injury away from being traded, just for a few picks. I think I like Walker. I think he's really good, but he's not healthy ever. And their running back coach has been just gassing up Charbonnet so much, saying how intelligent this guy is, how like if something goes wrong like on a play, it's never because of him, because he knows his assignment every time. He's basically a coach out there. He's a perfectionist. So it's only a matter of time before Charbonnet takes over, I believe too. So I don't think it's a smash, but it's closer than you think. But I agree with you. One last one I saw on Facebook, if I can find it. Yeah. Sorry. It's from Jacob. We're also on Facebook there, guys. So if you ever on Facebook, follow us at Commissioner Couch on there as well. He said, what are your thoughts on okay. This is a Harold Fannin question. What are your thoughts on Harold Fannin Jr.? I think he's going to pop off, but it's hard to say with the Njoku being so great. Yeah, Jacob, we talked about that quite a bit. I think he's going to be a really good player. I think he 9 targets last week is nothing to frown upon, and something to obviously consider. If the Browns don't do well this year, and Njoku is on a contract year, so he could be a trade candidate if Harold Fannin ends up playing well or continues what he is. It just makes it a little easier. Hey, we have his replacement. Yeah, I know that Kevin Stefanski likes to run that 22 offense with his 2 tight ends, but if Andrew Berry can save a little bit of money with his abysmal contracts lately, with trading Njoku, I can definitely see that the Browns aren't doing well. So I'm high on Fannin. I think that he is, regardless if Njoku is with the Browns or not, Fannin's going to produce for years to come, and it helps that he's a Canton McKinley local, which is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. He played at Bowling Green, which is in Ohio, but not too far away from Cleveland. Now he's a Brown. I just think he's a really good player, and I'm lucky to have him. So
yeah, I agree. I think, as I said earlier, there's enough room in this offense for both Njoku and Fannin to both eat. I as much as I hate it, I agree with you. Like, if the Browns do suck the rest of the way, Njoku is a very strong trade candidate. But I would hate to see that happen. But
I would love for him to be on our team and be in it for years to come. But NFL's business, and that's the reality. So they're trying to clear cap space. They just did yesterday with reworking Denzel Ward's deal. So
either way, like the Browns targeted Fannin for a reason in the draft. Sure. They saw him as a weapon. It's an actual receiving weapon in this draft, and so that's why they did that, and it's showing clearly week 1, and I'm sure it'll show up in week 2 as well. So
all right, man, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Awesome.
And
hold on, I just want to give a quick thank you to Inside Edge Network for hosting our podcast. We're really grateful and just really looking forward to the future with you guys. Also, LPV Productions for doing that as well. And then our sponsor, MonsterMomentsPhotography.com. They're a husband and wife photography team based in Cleveland that specializes in weddings. It's my company. Let's be real. But we're really good. You should check us out at MonsterMomentsPhotography.com. MOSSOR Momentsphotography.com. All right. I want to say thank you again. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone else.
Thanks.
And look for more posts. Look for our FMFT post next Wednesday, and we'll be live Wednesdays at 9, so that will get you the info for the week before the fantasy week. So just look for us next week.
All right. We'll see you there.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. See you, Dave.